have to be an expert on human history to appreciate great archaeology. All you need is a keen eye and an interest in the past. We know you have both of those things because you found your way to this video. Thanks for finding us. In return, here's a collection of genuinely amazing archaeological finds. Let's start with some newly discovered pyramids. Archaeologists from Peru and Poland have discovered a 4,000-year-old temple complex during excavations on Cerro Colorado Hill near Barranca, Peru in March 2023. The complex on 2 of 4 mounds includes a pyramidal structure constructed with dried bricks and stone blocks. The mixture of grass and mortar used to bind the blocks was radiocarbon dated to around 2500 to 2200 BCE, a time when Andean cultures were influenced by agriculture and urban settlements from the Amazon region. The discovery's significance lies in expanding the known range of temple pyramids, previously limited to the Carroll site to the Pacific Ocean. The temples remained sacred long after their original function ceased. Burial bundles dating from 772 to 989 CE were also found, providing evidence of continued religious traditions during the Wari Empire. One burial contained the remains of a child with a deliberately deformed skull, indicating high social status. The child was wrapped in a unique textile adorned with zoomorphic motifs. The findings correlate with historical accounts describing sorcerers and witches in the region. The archaeologists believe that the temple was described by chronicler Antonio de la Calancha, who claimed that he once met a demon on Cerro Colorado. Scandinavian scientists have made an intriguing archaeological discovery in western Denmark, a gold disc with an inscription referencing the Norse god Odin. This inscription, found on a bracteate pendant in the Ventev Horde, is now considered the oldest known reference to Odin, dating back to the 5th century. This finding predates the previous oldest reference by at least 150 years. The Ventev Horde, discovered in 2020, is an extraordinary collection containing approximately 2.2 pounds of gold, including large medallions and Roman coins that have been repurposed as jewelry. Experts believe the hoard, buried 1,500 years ago, might have been hidden to protect it from enemies or offered as a tribute to the gods. One of the notable bracteates found within the hoard carries the inscription, "He is Odin's man," possibly referring to an unknown king or overlord of the time. The runic inscription on the bracteate has impressed experts with its exceptional craftsmanship. This discovery invites further investigation into the numerous bracteate inscriptions, offering a deeper understanding of Viking culture and beliefs. The Ventev Horde, now on display at the National Museum of Denmark, is a testament to the region's rich history. A discovery of 17th century Lithuanian coins has been made on the outskirts of Żarnocha, Poland in March 2023. The hoard was found by Michael Lotis, who was scanning a field with his metal detector, searching for lost mechanical agricultural parts, when he came across some loose coins and a ceramic jug tightly packed with more coins. Lotis notified the Provincial Office for the Protection of Monuments in Lublin, which he had to do by law, as unlicensed metal detectoring is illegal in Poland. Archaeologists were dispatched to the site and found that the hoard was deliberately buried in a layer of subsoil. The hoard contained around 1,000 coins, mostly Lithuanian crowns and shillings, with most of them inside a traditional Polish siwak vase. The jug and contents weigh 6.6 pounds. These coins were minted at a time when Poland and Lithuania were united in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, a joint state with a multi-ethnic population of more than 12 million people. The hoard is now being fully excavated and will then be analyzed at the Archaeology Department of the Museum of Southern Podlasy in Biała Podlaska. The British Museum is the home of the Swimming Reindeer, a 13,000-year-old Magdalenian sculpture of 2 swimming reindeer. Carved by an unknown artist in France, the artwork was made from a mammoth tusk. Discovered in 1866 by Picadot de Isle, a French engineer, the sculpture was initially thought to be two separate pieces, until Abbé Henri Breuil realized in 1904 that they formed a single artwork. De Isle's discovery, including the reindeer sculpture and a carved spear thrower, was showcased in 1867 at the Exposition Universelle in Paris, attracting intrigue due to the sophistication and depiction of reindeer. The sculptures were later acquired by the British Museum in 1887 after negotiations brought the price down to £500. Today, the fragile sculpture is carefully preserved in a controlled environment and is considered the oldest piece of art in any British museum. Dating back to the late Ice Age, the find highlights the coexistence of reindeer, mammoths, and humans in an era known as the Age of the Reindeer. The Magdalenian period, named after the Abri de la Magdeleine cave in France, saw the creation of similar art to the swimming reindeer, but perhaps nothing quite as impressive as the artifact itself. In February 2023, during archaeological excavations as part of the A14 road improvement scheme in England, scientists from the Museum of London Archaeology discovered an incredibly rare ancient comb made from a human skull, among 280,000 other artifacts collected previously between 2016 and 2018. Dubbed the Bar Hill Comb, the artifact was found 4 miles northwest of Cambridge and dates back to the Iron Age. The exact use of the comb isn't obvious, but the presence of a hole in the comb suggests it was worn as an amulet, rather than used as an accessory. The comb may have been a highly symbolic and powerful object for members of the local community, possibly carved from the skull of an important member of an Iron Age society whose presence was in some way symbolically preserved and commemorated through their bones. It provides insight into how communities treated their dead and sheds new light on ritual and belief in Iron Age Britain. Only 2 other similar pieces have ever been found in Britain. One in Erith, Cambridgeshire in the 1970s, which featured carved teeth, and the second in Harston Mill in the early 2000s. In late 2022, a 52-foot papyrus scroll of the Book of the Dead was found inside the coffin of a man named Amoj, who died around 300 BCE. This was the first complete ancient papyrus found in Egypt in 100 years. The Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities announced the discovery a few months ago, in February 2023, but no photographs were released, leaving people wanting more. However, the ministry has now released the first photographs of the complete papyrus, which is in incredible condition, with clear and undamaged sections of text and illustrations. The unrolled scroll is now on display at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. The Book of the Dead is a set of religious texts that guided the deceased into the underworld. It includes incantations, prayers, and a roadmap of the journey of the souls of the dead. The text is written in hieratic, a cursive form of hieroglyphs, with 113 chapters from the Book of the Dead written in 150 columns. Moses' name appears in the script 260 times, indicating that it was customized for him. It's clear that the book was written by accomplished professionals, as it has neat groupings and space for accompanying illustrations. Archaeologists have stumbled upon the very first surviving example of a set of defensive stakes comparable to the ones that Julius Caesar famously employed to defend his troops against the Gallic army in 52 BCE. The stakes were discovered in the former northern boundary of the Roman Empire, in the Bad Ems region of Germany, by a team of students. While originally thought to be a smelting facility constructed during the early 2nd century CE, it was later discovered in 2016 that it was actually a double-ditched Roman camp that occupied a 20-acre area. In Blueskop Hill's moist soil, Friedrich Auth's team found the fascinating wooden spikes. A coin discovered on the site was dated to 43 CE, thus providing historical context. According to Tacitus, an ancient Roman historian, The Roman governor Curtius Rufus attempted to mine silver in this location in 47 CE but found very little. The Romans set up camp to protect themselves against raids as they attempted to extract the raw material, according to archaeologists. The purpose of the forts, on the other hand, remains unclear, as they were never fully built and were burned down a few years after construction. In summer 2022, a vast collection of Angkorian crown jewelry, some of which dated back to the 7th century, resurfaced in London, having been stolen from Cambodia years ago. The stolen items belong to British antiquities smuggler Douglas Latchford, who passed away in 2020 while awaiting trial in the USA. After his death, his family promised to return the stolen collection to Cambodia. In February 2023, the items were finally returned and are due to go on display in the country's National Museum. The collection contains 77 pieces of gold and jewel-encrusted jewelry, including crowns, belts, and earrings. Items of note include a large bowl made of solid gold, thought to date back to the 11th century and used as a rice bowl for Angkorian royalty. Many of the items can be matched to stone carvings on the walls of Angkor Wat, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. However, it is still unclear how and when the jewelry was stolen, and how it made its way to London. Cambodian authorities believe that more Angkorian jewelry has yet to be found. They have evidence from Latchford's email correspondence that he was attempting to sell the collection secretly from a North London warehouse as late as 2019, and not all of it has been accounted for. Back in 1992, archaeologists found a long, smooth wooden object at the Roman fort of Vindolanda in England. Vindolanda has given up hundreds of interesting artifacts over the years, but archaeologists were stumped by this one, or at least they pretended to be for the sake of decency. In 2023, they finally came clean. They've always known what it is, and it's now on display in a museum with an accurate description. Let's look at the facts. It's phallus-shaped. One end of it has been carved in a way that resembles the male anatomy. It's 7 inches long. While some historians still cling to the idea that it might be a pestle or a good luck charm, the fact that it's been worn smooth through repeated use pretty much confirms its status as a sex toy. We can't think of a worse possible place to get a splinter, but we guess it's a case of needs must for whoever owned it. Perhaps we should see the artifact as proof of the old adage that anything can be a sex toy if you're feeling brave enough. A trainee metal detectorist in northern Germany stumbled upon a buried treasure of coins and jewelry in February 2023 and was delighted to find that their surprise discovery dates back 800 years. The hoard was found on the Jutland Peninsula of Schleswig-Holstein near Haifabau, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a major trade hub during the Viking Age. Trainee Nicky Andreas Steinmann discovered the hoard during only his 3rd outing with his instructor, who promptly called in state archaeologists to excavate the full hoard. The investigation uncovered around 30 silver coins, earrings, 2 gold-plated finger rings, 1 ring fragment, and 2 fibulae, with a pair of gold filigree pendant earrings featuring gemstones being the standout pieces. The coins date back to the reign of Danish King Valdemar II, with the deposit dating to the first half of the 13th century. The hoard was buried in a cloth bag that had been slightly disturbed by agricultural activity, although thankfully, the contents remained undamaged. The site had long been abandoned by the time the hoard was buried, which likely made it a good place for someone to hide their valuables. Archaeologists in Italy have found plenty of ancient Roman sarcophagi over the years, but discoveries like this next one are far rarer. It's a funerary stela dating back to the Roman imperial era, accompanied by a relief portrait of the person being buried. The rare artifact was found in Buccianico, Abruzzo in February 2023 during roadworks. Curiously, there's no sign of a grave nearby. It's possible that the stela was moved from its original location in the distant past for reasons unknown. Helpfully, there's an inscription on the stela which, when translated, reads, "To Metia Rufa, freedwoman of Chios." Metia, freedwoman of Chios, places this for her mother. History records the existence of a Metis family living in this part of Italy during the early imperial era. One of them, Marcus Metius, was a legate of Julius Caesar in 58 BCE. Based on the inscription, this woman would have once been a slave owned by the family but later became free. In fact, the inscription suggests that both she and her daughter were former slaves. Rufa might have been a reference to her having red hair. Finally, we have what may very well be the oldest tavern, restaurant, or drinking establishment in the world. The discovery of this ancient Sumerian tavern in Lagash, Iraq, was confirmed in February 2023. Despite being approximately 4,700 years old, it still has food inside it. Back when the tavern was built, Lagash was an independent city-state with its own king. As such, it was one of the first urban centers in the ancient Near East. We can't confirm that this is the world's first tavern, but nor can we rule the idea out. Within its ruins, archaeologists have found 150 serving bowls, benches for diners to sit on, the bones of animals and fish, and even a primitive refrigeration system. There's also evidence that beer was brewed and drunk here, which is consistent with what we know about the Sumerians and their enthusiasm for beer. The evidence comes in the form of a cuneiform tablet, upon which a recipe for brewing beer is etched. Finding the tablet means that it's now possible to brew authentic Sumerian beer. We're sure there are some hipsters out there who would love to try it.
Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and enjoy watching new videos on my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!